Agriculture mechanization is one of the biggest hindrances to transforming Uganda's agriculture sector from subsistence to commercial agriculture. As government continues with efforts to restructure the sector, mechanization has been chosen as one alternative that can help the sector take off. Uganda as a country has one of the fastest growing population on the African continent. Such a high population is at risk of hunger. However, Uganda has potential to produce sufficient food to meet its consumption needs and surplus to export to other countries. But the main problem lies with inequality in access to mechanization, especially with the small-scale farmers who are the major producers of food. This week on the NBS Agribusiness Show, we visited a group of innovative youths that have come up to solve the agriculture mechanization problem in the livestock subsector. Innovative Consortium, as a company, has been able to manufacture this hay and silage, making machines suitable for livestock farmers. With the usually long dry season, some farmers have been lacking water and pasture for their animals. This is a clear indication that animal feeds are a major challenge that farmers face. This locally made machine is able to produce both hay and silage for the livestock during dry seasons. The machine has been able to fight off competition from imported silage making machines with an advantage that is cost effective and affordable by smallholder farmers. Brian explains to NBS Agribusiness why livestock farmers need this innovation when it comes to both hay and silage production.
This is silage and hay machine. Basically, we did this machine because of a reason. Because there are lots of imported machines on the market which are very expensive for the farmers to acquire, farmers with low budgets. And why the silage and hay machine is because it processes both silage and hay at the same time. Yet the imported machines can only produce silage independently and hay independently, meaning you have to acquire two machines if you want to have silage and hay.
So yes. What's the difference between silage and hay? For the farmer out there wants to know what is silage and what is hay.
Yes, silage is got out of the green forage, say maize, say elephant grass, which is processed by this machine, and it can be kept under tarpaulin or any substance that won't allow oxygen to enter, and that can be kept for up to 8 years, which is very good for the farmers because during the drought periods, you can access your silage, feed it to the cows. Hay is processed from the dry grass, which is left to dry on the fields. So when it dries, it is processed by this machine. It can also be kept for up to 10 years, meaning during the periods whereby you don't have the grass or the pastures to feed the cows, you can use your silage, give it to the cows.
So,
yes.
Why should a farmer get this machine?
A farmer should get this machine because of, I think, 2 or 3 reasons. One, this machine is very affordable. It is very cheap compared to the imported ones. This machine processes 4 tons of silage and hay in 1 hour using 1 liter of diesel, which is so very cost effective compared to the imported ones. This machine is, like I said, it processes both silage and hay, meaning you will not have to buy the 2 machines. You won't have to buy the silage machine independently and the hay machine independently. This machine will process both of them. So that is very good for the farmers. Pocket friendly, yes.
How much fuel does it use? Because you said it's cheap to afford, it's affordable for farmers, but we need to know it might be easy to afford when it uses like 10 jerrycans of fuel.
No.
So how much fuel does it use?
Like I earlier said, this machine processes 4 tons of silage or hay in 1 hour using 1 liter of diesel and fuel.
1 liter?
Yes, 1 liter of diesel and fuel.
Wow.
Yeah, so that is the advantage.
So for the farmers that can't be able to afford this, and what would you advise them to do?
No, like I explained earlier on, we fabricate these machines in 2 sizes. Bigger sizes for the farmers with bigger financial capabilities, and smaller sizes for the farmers with low financial capabilities. Meaning this bigger machine is a bit costly compared to the small size. Yes. So any farmer with any pocket size, they can acquire this machine. Or still we can have circles. People with circles can arrange and come through and acquire the machine. People with individual financial capabilities can also acquire the machine. If I may say, the technology the technology of this machine is not so complicated. It's very simple. We teach farmers how to operate this machine, and compared to the imported machines, all the technicalities of these machines are locally solved by we. So if this machine gets a problem, you just give us a call and we shall come to your farm and operate this machine, and repair the machine. Compared to the imported ones, whereby you have to, the spare parts are very expensive. The technicians who repair these machines are so few, and so they're very expensive actually. So I think this is quite a bigger deal.
While dairy farmers in Uganda do it as a source of income or just to get milk for their own consumption, most farmers do not get the quantity they expect from their cows. Proper feeding is essential for high milk production. To boost milk production, a dairy cow should be fed on dry matter like hay or silage and not green or fresh grass.
You just have to process silage and hay, store it into a place whereby it won't have to access oxygen. Under, say, a tarpaulin or any, you can dig a ditch and put it in, put the silage in the ditch and cover it up, where it can be safe for up to 8 years, and you can always feed it to your cows. So people should adopt to silage and hay, like it has been in the other countries in Netherlands. People don't have to have lots of farms, a big land, a big space of land to graze your cows. With a small piece of land, you can always do what? You can use silage and hay to feed your cows.
Yeah, you told me earlier that cows that feed on hay produce more milk. Can you explain that more?
Oh yes. Like we said, hay is processed from the dry grass, which is left dry in the field, and then it is processed into hay. Now, hay is dry, so when a cow consumes a lot of hay, it gets a dry throat. So that they'll have to take lots and lots of water. What does it mean? That in the evening, when it is the time for milking, you'll have to get lots of milk. You'll acquire lots and lots of milk.
So
yes.
Hay forces the cows to drink?
Yes, because it is dry. So when a cow takes hay, it gets a dry throat. So they will have to take lots and lots of water if they are milking cows. So you know what happens? Yes.
The beauty of having pastures chopped is that animals use less energy when they are feeding, which facilitates their weight gain and subsequently their production. This hay and silage cutter will also help you do more work in a shorter time, avoiding time wastage and labor. It is powered by an engine, so a farmer just needs pasture into it as it carries out the chopping. On the downside, the machine may require servicing due to effects of wear and tear. However, since the machines are locally manufactured, their spare parts can be easily got at a cheap price, not to mention that some breakdowns do not require a lot of expertise in machinery but can be fixed by a metal fabricator. Byron, the brain behind this machine, explains the technicalities involved while making this machine.
My name is Byron Semalago, and the machine you see here is called a silage hay machine. Sometimes called hybrid hay machine because it does more than one. This machine is supposed to produce silage, supposed to produce hay, supposed to produce other animal feeds like maize for pigs, chicken, needing them. So I will explain to you first of all how the machine works, and then I will tell you how we come about with it. Basically, this is a machine. This is a silage machine. Inside here, we feed maize, usually half-grown, 2 months old, into the machine. Then above here we get silage, which comes out here. 2 is we also feed. You can feed here hay. When you feed here hay, you have to close here, like this. Then the hay will be coming out of here. So this is F1, which will suck the milled hay into a better fine powder which can be consumed by animals. It comes out here. Inside here we have basically chopper and hammer systems and some technicalities which belong to us.
That you cannot share.
That we can't share. Maybe after buying the machine you can share it. Then behind is an engine, a diesel engine, but you can have a motor there. You can also have another type of engine depending on your pocket, because on the market we have Chinese, Indians, and Germans. Yeah, what we do, we advise the farmer depending on their pocket, because if on the market the cheapest engine is from China, then followed by Indian, then followed by German. So we advise the farmer depending on the pocket, so which machine fits in his or her pocket. So what we basically do at the consortium, we fabricate the center entity, and when you buy the engine, we install the engine of the machine, we put all the belts and do the test run. So when you buy a machine, about the maintenance, it's almost maintenance free. In case of any breakdown, we are more readily available. So we can't make you toil around for the repairs. Then basically, I think some of you have been seeing this drum and wondering what it does. According to the version of the Chinese engines, like the one which you have on this machine, you need a drum which holds the water which cools the engine. And as this drum,
it's like a coolant.
Yeah, this is the coolant for this engine. So basically, if you run the machine without this drum and it's a Chinese make, you're bound to fail it in less than even a day. We have carried a few competitions around the country. So we have won some few awards, the one in UDB, where we had about 45 innovations, and we became as the best runners-up. And as you can see, but maybe what I could talk about is how we came about with it. It was not good from an abstract. Basically, the farm which we are on is from Kamal Pascali. So Kamal came to us. He had a problem to be solved. He wanted a silaging machine, and when he had bought on the market, we were overfailing. Since he was our friend, he came to consortium. So we thought about developing one manually done here, which we have been doing with him for the last 4 years. So as you can see, this is our first generation, and we believe it's ready for sale. It works far better, more efficient. So basically, on this farm, you wanted silage, as we have seen for the cows, and only something which can last longer, almost no need of begging someone to repair them. So we built one. Then he came after almost half a year, he realized that he needed also silage for his cows. So other than making another machine for silage, we incorporated the silage onto the same onto the same machine. So the same machine also does silage. Does hay. Then as we progressed, he's a man who has a few animals around which eat broken maize. As some of you maybe rare chicken. So what we had to do, we had to incorporate again the milling of those grains for the chicken onto the same machine.
Wow.
So now this machine.
Multi-purpose machine.
Yes, it's multi-purpose. So we have been developing it depending on the need he had. So we believe, since he's not the only farmer in the country, I think many people would think they will need to share this idea with them.
Model farmer Mr. Kamal Pascal, the owner of these cows, of this farm, he doesn't have to take these cows to the farm, graze on huge chunks of land. No, like you can see, they're all being fed on a place which is even less than an acre. It's less than an acre, yes. And they're all being fed on silage and hay, strictly.
And they look healthy.
Yeah, they do look healthy. So, like I said, I think we have to adopt to silage and hay. People have to accept and revolutionize agriculture, farming. Yes, I mean it's almost a town, and on a small piece of land you can still do your grazing, you can still do your cattle keeping. With silage, process your silage, come store it at your piece of land, have your cows on, and they can always feed to silage, and you'll get lots and lots of milk. Now, as you can see, it is evident. Look at these cows. You cannot compare them to the cows that feed on the fresh grass. Like I said, for the farmers that are targeting high quantities of milk production, silage and hay is the way to go. Because, like I said, cows that take hay, which is dry, they will get a dry throat, and they'll have to take lots and lots of water. What does it mean? That it will help in the, in the processing of milk, in the making of milk. A farmer will be harvesting lots and lots of quantities of milk if they feed their cows onto silage and hay. It is the way to go. I mean, there is no longer lots and lots of chunks of land for people to do grazing, like it used to be way in the past. Nowadays, we want to advocate for cattle keeping, so that someone in town with a small plot of land can also do what? Cattle keeping.
Uganda's performance as an innovation economy has been improving consistently since 2015. The Global Innovation Index has ranked Uganda as an innovation outperformer, a title given to countries that have been identified as innovation achievers and pillar outperformers. This laudable progress stems from sustained economic growth coupled with a commitment to private sector development and innovation policy reforms. Though encouraging, this nascent progress will translate into real benefits for the broader Ugandan population only if policymakers understand and address specific constraints in the innovation systems of the agriculture sector, which is the largest sector in the Ugandan economy.
Yes, so like I said earlier on, that we have to cover silage and hay into, a silage wrapper or a tarpaulin that won't allow oxygen to get in. So we are on our model farmers farm in Mukono, Mr. Kamali Pascal, who has trusted us, and he contacted us to make him a silage machine. We developed and tested it on his farm, as you've seen. So Sam and gave it to the cows at any time. Yes.
It's really hot.
Yes, yes, so it's hot.
They pick the hay from down, why not
Yes.
from up? This is the fresh one.
Yes.
This is the one that has...
No, this is all silage. This is all silage, yes. It looks a bit dry because it has been opened, but after acquiring what they want, the amount they want, they are getting what? Cover to keep it, yes, to keep it fresh. Yes. Thank you.
Thank you so much for being a great viewer of yet another exciting and interesting episode of the NBS Agribusiness Show. The show returns next week, same time, with yet another agriculture venture.